Good morning, everyone. This is Revealing Light Tarot. I've got a slight cold, so just disregard the croakiness of my voice, but I'm actually doing okay. It's spring here in Australia and we're coming into summer. I wanted to do some daily messages or some messages for us today because I can see the comments coming through and I understand how people are feeling. When I opened myself up to universal source or universal consciousness, I got the image of a young person navigating in a small rowboat in the storm, and that young person was holding fast to the tiller and was steering ahead in the middle of the storm. The other image I got was of men lined up in high back chairs. They were overlooking an arena filled with young people, and the words that came through, because I generally see them written on paper, were that if power doesn't include everyone, then it is illusionary. So it's not real. So I guess, like everybody else, the events of the last 48 hours have been on my mind in the US. But I'm really encouraged to see the motivation that's also coming through. So with those words, with that young person navigating through the storm, holding fast to the tiller or the rudder, and still going onward despite the storm, and those men sitting in high back chairs surveying an arena full of young people, and the words, if power isn't inclusive of everybody, if it doesn't include everybody, it is illusionary. Okay, so what messages do we need to hear today? Okay, so the Ten of Cups is a lovely card. The Ten of Cups is all about support and coming together, and having plenty there. So that's our signifier card. It's the family, and it is building assets for the future, and love and support, I guess, is the best way to describe that card. Love and support. So that's our signifier card for today, love and support. The Knight of Swords is the traditional soldier going into battle. So a fast-thinking person, and who's coming forward with their sword in the interest. I mean, the sword is very much always, to me, that's probably a symbol of this of this channel. It's a little bit about like cutting away to reveal the truth, and so that soldier's coming forward with his sword or her sword of truth. And again, some more swords, and this card came through yesterday. This is the card of the bully and theft. So they're interesting cards today here. We've got love and support, circles of support coming together. We've got riding forward with the sword of truth, and we've got that the bully card, the theft card, the abuse card. So when I look at those messages for today, I very much see new generation here, because that's the image that I got when I opened up this reading. I saw young people, and I think, and then counterbalanced were the old men sitting on their high back chairs over, just looking, over this huge auditorium of young people. To me, that's almost like, and I got the power, if it's not inclusive, is illusionary. power, if it's not inclusive, is illusionary. Here we have this thief stealing the swords from this person there. So I think this is a message here for the older generation that they're, regardless, young people are coming through, and this is a time of change. And sometimes you have to have huge lessons in order to have change come afterwards. So loving and supporting one another is really critical at this stage, I think. And telling your truth as well, understanding that there will always be these people who seek to exclude and hide the truth and take things away for themselves. This is the bully card. But here, we can all be like this. We can all tell our truth. So, I've had a lot of reflection over the last 24 hours. And this image that I get of a young person in the boat and navigating in the middle of the storm, I think that we should all acknowledge the young people in our lives. We should all see them. Sometimes it's very easy to not to see young people and not to hear them and allow their voice to be heard. So I'm getting a very strong message today that we really need to be inclusive of our young people. We need to let their voices be heard. We need to let them rise up, because if we don't include them, if we don't include every voice in our daily lives, wherever we happen to be, in whatever situation we are in, then any power will be illusionary. It's not going to work. So I guess I'm going to look round today at my own home and have a look at, how much I'm listening to the young people in my lives, and really listen to them, and let them carry their own truth forward, because they are navigating in a storm, in the current day, the contemporary world. They're navigating in a storm, and it's a storm that we've made for them in a way. So I guess I would like my legacy to be a little bit about allowing young people to talk, allowing young people to express their truth. It's interesting because when I went and bought these new cards yesterday in my disappointment at the Supreme Court ruling, at the Kavanagh ruling, one of the things that I was, I guess, touched by was that these cards actually do represent youth in a way, and I think that's what drew me through to them, is this representation of youth and representation of women. So if power doesn't include, and this includes your own personal power in every situation in your life, if your power does not include everyone, then it is illusionary. And I think on the broader level, we've got to remember that even though brutal power appears that it wins, it doesn't at all, because it's bound to fail. It is set up to fail if it's not inclusive. So there are our messages today, everyone. Love and light, and as we go forward, we may well be in the middle of the storm, but we've still got our hand on the rudder. Okay, so keeping our hand on the rudder and steering ahead and navigating through stormy weather. Okay, thank you.